So this list of Republican senators who voted with the Democrats to block President Trump's emergency order, we were told yesterday it'd be maybe around 4, ended up being a dozen of them. Would have been 13 had Tom Tillis not changed his mind at the last minute. So what do you think will be the impact on these Republicans?
Well, I think it's a good thing for Tom Tillis that he changed his vote. I've been in North Carolina a couple of times in the last month or so, last being Walter Jones' funeral there. I've talked to a lot of folks in North Carolina. It sure sounded like if he had gone through and voted against the president, what the president was doing, that it would pretty much seal his fate. He wouldn't be back. So I'm glad that for him and for North Carolina and for the president that he did not vote for this thing. And I think if you want a clue as to what it accomplished by Republicans voting yes, you can find that in the accolades that they all 12 got from Chuck Schumer. And as somebody had said here at the studio, when Chuck Schumer is telling you you did a great job, then you really messed up pretty badly. The country knows what this vote was about. And look, you've got some of those people I know, and they're very dear friends, and they are people of principle. But the problem is that Congress ever gave this kind of expansive power to the president in the first place. They shouldn't have been. They should have left the authority to come in and rein a declaration in. But to wait to this point when there is a true national emergency on our border and now vote against a president doing all he can to protect American lives and to try to stop the drug cartels. This is a big deal, and I deeply regret that the signal to America is the president doesn't have 12 Republican support.
But explain that to people, because that's where there's a lot of discrepancy. And I'm going to summarize here, but you have like Mitt Romney coming out saying that, you know, this wasn't for him about, you know, national security and the problem at the border. It was about what is constitutionally allowed. So, but you say, on the other hand, that the president does have this authority. So what are people to believe?
Well, I mean, it's the same authority that Barack Obama had when he declared national emergencies and, you know, utilized the power. Of course, Bill Clinton, he ended up using the national, he used the national declaration many times, maybe 16. But one of them was to help use our forces in Bosnia. So, I mean, to wait until it's Donald Trump to say, oh, no, you don't have this power. Well, going back to Jimmy Carter, when our embassy was attacked in Tehran and the national emergency he declared, and he sends forces over. Unfortunately, he scaled back their emergency effort so much that it cost them a great embarrassment and lives. But it has been used, including the use of U.S. forces, and it is outrageous that now, when it really needed to be done, and I understand some of them are good friends. They were acting on principle, but they were missing the fact this has been constitutional. It has been upheld, and the president did have the power to do what he did.
It makes you wonder.
He is saving lives.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if they have actually spoken to anyone who lives there along the border, because everyone that I've spoken with that has ranches down there or lives down there, they've said, yes, absolutely, this is an emergency and we need help. You know, the president expected to cast his first veto today. We believe that will happen in regards to all of this. Obviously not the first president to do so. We can bring some of that up. You know, Ronald Reagan, 17 vetoes. You mentioned Bill Clinton, 37 vetoes for him. What do you expect to happen today, and then what happens next?
I think President Trump will veto it very quickly, and that will be the end. Well, then it will come to the House. It comes to the House first, and if we have 2/3 of our House vote to override the veto, then it goes to the Senate, and they need 2/3 to override. They didn't get 2/3 on this vote, so they don't have the votes. But it seems like we had 245. They needed like 290. So it's they're a long way from being able to override the president's veto. So I'm sure we'll have a vote to override, but it will not be successful, and it will not get to the Senate, and those 12 will not have a chance to changed their position to send word to their constituents that they do support what the president's trying to do.
We
here.
only have about 30 seconds left, though. I want to ask you about this. The Mueller report, not happening today, not going to be released. Final word on that?
Mueller is Mueller. He hired people that hated the president. And so, yeah, they're going to drag this thing out as long as they can. As I told Harris Faulkner last summer, when what people were saying, oh, it's about to be over. Well, it's about to be over now, but they're not in a hurry to get the report out.
All right. We will see. Thank you so much. Such a busy morning. We appreciate you joining us and just going with